Welcome to Subject to Change, a sustainability podcast.
Hi there.
Hi, you!
Hi, Jody. A little bit special, Jody, because we go way back, right? It's kind of funny, Deco, because we have not grown older whatsoever, right?
Right, I know. Actually, I just colored my hair gray, so.
Our guest is Jimmy Myhrinder, spa manager.
I'm at work. I just finished a meeting, and I did get some private clothes on, though.
Love that.
I mean, kudos to you for having the coolest backdrop I think we've ever had.
Very nice.
Oh, that was not my intention at all. I can show you where I am. This is one of our conference rooms, actually, to be honest. And it's called manga for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool, and it's got a crazy purple color.
I love it.
This is kind of.
I want to see your chairs. Your chairs look different. Ooh,
We have those ninja, what do you call them?
ninja stars.
That's cool.
And the chairs they're plastic, weird, cool ones. And we just have we removed them because people were stealing them. We had like a chance of manga comics books here as well.
Oh yeah.
And this is a nice view over the Stockholm archipelago.
Oh my gosh.
A moment of get to know each other.
We usually are indulging in wine or beer, but for us it's 10 o'clock in the morning, so that's not what we're doing right now.
I'm at work, and I'm supposed to drive a car, and then coffee. It's actually coffee. It's like otherwise I see people. Someone that said if you're boring over Zoom meeting, put some wine in your teacup and just glue the tea bag hanging out of it, and it looks great.
I love Stockholm.
Stockholm, my favorite city in the world, and I haven't.
Why are you saying that?
I'm saying that.
I want to know why. Genuinely, I want to know why.
Well, my dad was born in Sweden, in Kinna, Sweden. Yeah.
That's right. Wait, wait a minute, Anderson, for heaven's sake. Duh.
Yeah. But my aunt lived in Stockholm when we were traveling with people. Unfortunately, I was very, very ill when Ed and I stayed with my aunt. But she lived right in the city, and I walked everywhere when I wasn't being sick.
Yeah.
And it's just such a beautiful, it's incredibly urban, but it's like most European cities, it's incredibly walkable. And I love all of the islands and the old part of the city. And it's just, it has a really accessible feel. And I also like the folk museum. Because it's like in the city, but it's this vast area within the city. And I got to do some glass blowing and stuff. That was awesome. And then also architecture is really incredible. The Alto library. Yeah. A big win. So.
Yeah. I remember sitting in the Greyhound bus, or equal to a Greyhound bus, from Denmark over to Stockholm, over to Sweden. And my bus mate then was Robin, who I mentioned earlier. And just hearing her saying that, my God, you have yellow houses. I'm like, we do have yellow houses. That's right. Just seeing my country, or even then Stockholm, of course, which became my city, hometown now after, through other people's eyes, through my friends' eyes that I've been traveling with for half a year. I'm like, oh my God, I saw it completely in a different way, which was amazing.
So tell us about these awards, Jimmy.
Say the title of the award. You have won more than once.
Like 10?
10. So what's the one that you went to Dubai for? Tell us a little bit about.
Wait. Which one? So I have it correctly then. They are called World Spa Award for Best Spa in Sweden. Yeah. And I got I got the award for Best Spa Manager in Sweden, which was amazing. And we went to Ireland once for another award ceremony, and there we actually we won Best Luxury Resort in Europe, which is actually really good, because then you're competing with all those extremely nice places in Greece and France and Italy and wherever. So that was amazing.
The highs and lows of being a manager.
And I know you were struggling at the beginning of COVID. I know a couple of the posts that we were sharing in the Up With People chat group about how traumatic it was to have to furlough people and how you were going to manage the staff. Did you learn anything in particular from that process about you?
Nothing at all. No, I was kidding. Of course, having to let 90 people go, it's
astounding.
It's of course terrible to have done. Not terrible, but awful to be able to have to do that. But it wasn't. It wasn't like no one understood why.
Unsafe home.
The most weird thing that I learned in the beginning, it kind of hit Stockholm first week of March 2020. And then me and my partner were in Vietnam on holidays. We were thinking before, okay, we're going towards the virus, but it hasn't really come here. Should we, okay, let's go. You know, we got there, had an amazing time, but after 1 week in Vietnam, the news in Vietnam said that no Swedes are more allowed to get into the country because it exploded in Stockholm. So we were kind of not in your own country, and then feeling that, God, my country is now, it's so strange to be in the other side of the world and not wanting to go home.
When you are not wanted.
Taxi drivers refused to drive us a couple of times because he noticed we were Swedish. So my first time being a 49-year-old white guy in the world, it's considered a privileged person. So my first time I got to experience really like not wanted because of where I came from.
Wow.
So this was really lesson that I'm glad I had, because then I could at least, well, just because I am from this country, I was not welcome to different places.
That must have been a real shock.
Because, I never experienced that. I've been fortunate in my whole life. I never experienced that in that sense. Then going back, flying here, we flew through Singapore, Russia, and here, and there was all those, and then we landed in Stockholm. And as you probably both know, Sweden have had a little bit of another way of dealing with it. Coming to Sweden, it's like, where is utopia? Where is, hello? It's like, what's happening? Coming back to work, we lost $9 million in revenue in like a week. Every single conference rebooked or canceled. And I still did not see what I saw on the way here, like with the masks and everything.
The Swedish approach to COVID.
So the way that Sweden approached this was very different. What did you see personally?
I saw the bubble thing. Okay. I mean, when you went to Stockholm downtown, if you pass Stockholm downtown, for example, any day in March, April, May, it was a little bit like a ghost town, but not as in because people choose not to go out. Yes, it was different, but we didn't have it managed. You didn't have to have. We never had to wear masks.
Sometimes solving a problem creates problems.
There are regulations where we had to close at 8:30, and which was really bad for us, as in clog of people. Everybody wants to go to the spa before dinner. Everybody went to dinner at the same time. Everybody came back to the spa at the same time. The total opposite what they wanted with that.
That brings up one of the things that I think is really key to sustainability is looking at the full systems and not being blind to how a regulation is going to impact things. That's a great example of if somebody had actually talked with restaurant owners, spa owners, and kind of worked through the problem more holistically, it might have been able to be addressed in a different way. And the way Sweden addressed COVID related to other countries, it's such a cultural basis. So you have a country that people were trusted to protect themselves and their countrymen.
Let's talk about Yasuragi.
You've won all of these awards at this point, and so that means that the way you run this facility is clearly different. So what are your differentiators? What are you doing differently that people really can connect with?
I think one of the most important things is that we have our name is Yasuragi. It's a Japanese name. It means inner peace and harmony. It also means if you're sinking your body into a hot tub and the whole, that sound, exhaling, that tranquility exhale, that's also Yasuragi. It means that in Japan.
Yasuragi.
So the thing is that we have such a clear Japanese concept. It's easy for us to say no to, if you're, I'm an African dancer, could I have my classes here? No, we're Japanese spa, or I have those products from France, why not? We're Japanese spa. So I think one of the important things is we are really staying with what we believe in, or what our brand is standing for. We had this little, board that we had to went through. If we're actually bringing something in that's not from Japan, it needs to tick in a lot of other boxes.
Seriously? A quote from friends?
And I think that's the key thing to success in general. I'm talking the spa business. I've been to different spas. Mm-hmm. Or we need Pilates, we need spinning because people want spinning. We need this. I'm like, oh my God, what are you standing for? I mean, it's like 4 people said that they want spinning. Are you really building a spinning classroom? Really? The most important thing is don't be afraid to say no to things.
That's awesome. That's
in general in life. I have a quote from Phoebe Buffay when Ross from Friends asks her, do you want to come home and put my IKEA furniture together? She says, I wish I could, but I don't want to. I'm like, no.
No. You talk about your core principles, which is something I very much believe in. And I see a lot of businesses, this is spa and other businesses that allow themselves to get distracted. They allow the influences from outside to tell them what they need to do, as opposed to really building their influence from inside. And it sounds like you're building your influence from inside, which is excellent.
Being true to my core speaks to me.
What speaks to me so much about the way that you're approaching your business, realizing your Phoebe Buffay quote, for example, is like more the direction that I need to go. I wish I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
And that actually speaks to me so much on both a professional and a personal level. 3
levels of sustainability.
It's in our minds. So the ecological sustainability area, it's like, check. You don't even have to, this would be so mandatory. Then we have the economical sustainability. It's like, okay, well, this one, it's cheaper than this one, but how long will this last? So you have to make those expensive, cheap and everything.
Right.
And that area has been challenging during COVID. You might have had to buy this other one because economics. And I hate that you had to put sustainability on the side because of COVID or because of economical reasons, to be honest. And then we have the cultural sustainability, thank you. Meaning, okay, what do we do for the staff?
Right.
Like Richard Branson, if the staff feels good, we'll make the customers feel great. So we've been, everything from sports stuff with staff, or just we put a mindfulness course in here, so everybody got to go on an 8-week course. The same thing that Google did.
And just you're saying that about how if your staff is happy, then your guests are going to be exceptionally happy. That is something that a lot of companies say but don't do very well, and it sounds like you're actually doing it well.
We rehired about 70 people now again, and yesterday we hired 8 new people yesterday, full-time workers. We're increasing our June this year. It's our best revenue June in history. Before COVID, everything. So it's like, how is this possible?
Sustainable travel to the spa.
Something that's going to be a challenge in reducing carbon is encouraging people to still travel and experience other cultures.
Well, we are located about 20 minutes from Stockholm center. Mm-hmm. So you can go here by car, of course, or you can take a boat. We encourage people to take a boat. We had a campaign once that if you see your boat ticket or your bus ticket, you got a little discount instead of taking the car. Around 80%, 85% is from the Stockholm area.
Continuing to travel, but intentionally.
Costed me like, I don't know, $200 to fly to New York. Really, should it be that?
Yikes.
That's crazy. I mean, the carbon offset probably costs more than that.
A lot of my gay friends, they're like, no, double income, no kids. So it's like, oh, where are you, not if you're going somewhere. It's like, where are you going next week? Where are you going next? Where are you going? It's not, are you traveling somewhere? It's like you're assuming, I haven't been to Berlin, Barcelona, Palma, Paris. So I'm like, some people that I've seen on whatever social media there is, posting that finally on a plane. I'm like, oh, how much do you not want to live here?
Maybe it's not only about cheap drinks and warm sun.
How do we learn from other cultures? How do we build bridges among nations and people like we did for a year? Or how do we do that if you never go anywhere? That's another, of course, interesting subject.
There's a difference, though. I think the traveling that you're talking about, most of your friends doing, is traveling as a tourist. They're going someplace to be a tourist there. They're not going there to experience the culture. They're maybe going there to experience
a cheaper margarita and more sun, maybe.
So I think there's a difference in deliberate travel that introduces you to other cultural thoughts versus tourism travel. And that's maybe something that will become a sustainable aspect of travel. Maybe it'll become more deliberate.
Meeting Europe's challenging carbon goals.
The New York Times wrote a piece today, Jody, I don't know if you saw it, but talking about Europe's push to be 50% at their carbon goals by 2030 from the 1990 levels. And they're talking about, kind of the lofty goals associated with that and how transportation, meaning global transportation, is such a big part of that. Do you guys look at things on that level at your facility?
Yasuragi had a goal. We just had to put that a little bit on hold we couldn't be as progressive as we wanted. We had the goal of 2025 that we should, or how do you say, climate negative? No, I don't even know about neutral. Yes.
Carbon neutral.
And that's not that far away.
No.
That's kind of around the corner. But so we just, and how do we do? We have solar panels on the whole roof all over. So we just, and we are okay. We have our own herb garden that we're trying. It's just we need to, and we are saying no to vendors that don't agree with what we want to. So we're kind of, I love that idea that we are so big.
Yeah.
So we buy 5 towels, we buy 50,000 towels or whatever a year, or rent 50,000 towels. And if they don't have that kind of right fabric or cotton for that, we say no, and they don't want to lose the business.
Right.
So I've heard that a company that we buy our soaps from, that we have in the room, they are up in northern part of, or in the middle part of Sweden, and they just realized that they changed. They went in and changed all the light bulbs in their company. It might be a tiny thing, but they wanted to be more sustainable.
Creating that ripple effect of awareness.
Yeah.
And that's going to come back to you because they're going to produce more responsible goods that you're going to be happier about using.
Yeah.
So you're literally influencing your marketplace.
Which is great.
We do. Yes, we do.
That's incredible. Do you like cheer for yourself like every day that you get to do this?
You know what? It's like this sometimes. You're forgetting.
Yasuragi's goal.
Our goal is to make the world a better place and bring peace over the world. Like, that can sound really like what? But if we can have people coming out here, leaving the place with a smile on their face and a little bit more inner peace and harmony, you will spread that wherever you go. You might make a more sustainable choice next time you're shopping for detergent. Or so it's not that bad to say we can't make peace over the world, but I love the fact that we kind of started to talking that I'm going to make a world a better place, and that's quoting a song, "Make the world a better place." Yeah. So.
Hey, what would that song be?
No, so it's and I'm not sitting here lying to you guys. I'm not just making this up. So it's
You know what?
I'm so proud of working at this place. I've just had 4 weeks vacation. That's another thing in Sweden. We get lots of vacation.
I know.
Paid vacation.
What do you even do with 4 weeks? That must be incredible.
What do you think when you think of Sweden?
I have a question for you, Lauren, because it's always fun to hear what someone from another country thinks of your country or your own country. So now we've been mostly talking about the COVID thing, but what's your, when I say Sweden, we're here Sweden, what pops up in your mind then?
There are 2 primary things. One is that you
ABBA.
guys are like the happiest people in the world.
Happiness index.
See, you're just the happiest people. And then I would say, because I actually teach a class on sustainability through history, we actually spend a lot of time focused on the architecture of Sweden. Every building is a work of art. Which is so, I hate to say this, unlike the United States. Like every building in the United States is just a work of punishment. The attention to detail, and like you said before, this kind of the less is more approach, everything, it just seems as though everything that gets put into the architecture there has a meaning and a purpose and a symbol or a reason, a good reason.
So, it's interesting to hear, because it's like, oh, maybe I should look up when I walk down the street, because it's like sometimes in your own hometown or where you live, you forget to see those things.
Feels like it's a place. You go there because someone has taken the time to make a place. Here it seems like someone has taken time to let you park your car.
Relationship to space is different in the US than it is in most of Europe. We would rather spend money on creating more space in a house than refining the space that we have. For the most part, I mean, there are always exceptions. There are a lot of ugly buildings in the Netherlands. There are some ugly buildings I remember in Sweden.
We have, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Biophilia is kind of normal in Sweden.
And remember, you asked me, Jody, remind me if it was you this winter about using the outdoors.
Yes. Yeah.
Because posting some pictures, a lot of pictures with we have at our summer house, which a lot of people have here. We have two buildings, 2 houses, and there is a like a roof between those houses with a fireplace and just the coziest area. And it was like, I don't know, -5, 6, 7 degrees, and we were sitting there. Let's go out to have a fika, which is coffee and something, or have a glögg. And we sat there in those reindeer.
Yeah, the chairs and the blankets, nice.
Yes, and just enjoying a fireplace. And then instead of just, oh, it's so cold, like, no, it's not cold. Dress properly and be outside. And as you said something, you wrote something to me. Oh, I'm just talking about something. I don't know what you were doing, but
biophilia.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then about using the outdoors in a way, just living outdoors or mere. It's not that we're cave people, but just even if it's colder, we can be outside. I mean, it's. I just told that to Björn, and we're like, of course, this is this not something everybody do? No, she just you made my mind think a bit then.
Well, that's good. I'll have to send you a link about biophilia, because there's so much that people are learning now about how it helps you to heal faster in hospitals, for example, if you have access to natural views. So I think that would tie in with a lot of the goals that you have at your spa. You in the pictures online, you've got very tactile materials, very simple, very comforting, even though they're stark. And the use of water and the use of plants. I mean, you're actually building people's health by connection to those natural materials.
Yasuragi and forest bathing.
Yeah, and right now we have on this summer, we have activities all days here as well, from about 8:30 to 6 o'clock. And those activities are, right now we have forest bathing.
Yes! I'm new to this. I'm obsessed with it.
It's so weird. It's like for Swedish people we have so much forest, it's like, oh, in Japan, there's a big thing, forest bathing. Like, what?
Tiny yukatas.
we have 1 week in the end of June and 1 week in August when we allow kids. So we call it just like a kids.
Okay.
And we have those tiny yukatas for babies.
Oh,
And you see, like the babies are like small little samurais, and I'm like, I need 5 babies at home just to like dress them in this. Maybe not, maybe like for an hour until they start,
yeah.
But to see those
Awesome.
those laying in the rock, we have rocking chairs with the mom or the dad with a rocking chair. Actually, I mean, trying to make them the future. They're the future. They're the future. Period. The future spa goers, the future people who will save the world after we're done saving as much as we can.
Yeah.
So it's I love the fact, and we have outdoor activities for them as well. When you're supposed to like sneak around in the forest, like listen, and we have signs in our Japanese garden. Close your eyes. What can you see when you close your eyes?
Yeah.
And like, can you see something, or do you remember that? Or what can you hear? And work with the senses and everything, even for the kids. It's rewarding to work here.
Encouraging Jimmy to try his wings.
Jimmy, you look and sound so happy when you talk about.
Lauren said we were the happiest people, so I need to prove that.
Who should more people know about because they've inspired you or you've learned something from them in your life?
I would say the CEO I mentioned before, Sunniva Fallon Röd, who was the CEO here for about maybe 4 years. And that is, she is right here. She made me try my own wings, like go and you learned a lot. She opened my eyes to things that I'm a very like high energy person, but she made me also be able to educate myself as a mindfulness instructor. And it's kind of fun because people might not think that I am the mindfulness person, as in, can you really calm down and can you stop, Jimmy? I can. She made me grow a lot, and she is a hero of mine.
Stay true to yourself.
Don't be afraid to say no to things, people, companies, vendors. There's so much information, so much, buy this, go there, do this. We have to, and I think we need to say no, and please also say no live, not only by like social media or
right.
thing. Say no live and stay true to, I mean, not being rude, just like no, talk to the hand, no, but say no and maybe explain why, and think of why do you say no to this, and stay true to your beliefs.
That's exceptional.
That's perfect.
Wrapping it up, thanks so much, Jimmy.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. It was so great to meet you.
You guys too, and Jody, of course, extra to you, because it's like, wow, with 25 years of.
I know. You are extraordinary, Jimmy. You always have been, and I love to see the life and career you've built for you. It's beautiful.
And you usually more see me like this, like there's Saturday Night Fever moves. I still got it. Okay.
I believe you are all of these things. That's what I believe. Just in meeting you in this 1 hour.
Thank you. Take care.
So much.
Have a wonderful evening.
You too. I'm off with two friends from work, and we're having some wine and having a nice. Now I get the wine. You'll have to wait a couple of hours, right?
I'll have to wait a couple hours.
You have to wait more than a couple.
Yeah, I haven't started day drinking yet, but I'll think.
It's around the corner. Okay.
Exactly.
Well, for letting me be on your show, and take care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This has been Subject to Change, a sustainability podcast. Lauren and I have been so glad to speak with Jimmy Myhrinder and learn more about Yasuragi Spa in Sweden. Thanks and take care.